Welcome back, guys, to the What a Life podcast.
She said, should I?
This is our first episode of 2024.
Wow, you're so enthusiastic.
2024.
I was not prepared for the enthusiasm. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited. It's a new
I have to get in the zone.
A new era. 2024 What a Life podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be epic.
A new era.
New era.
So 2024 is going to be wild.
I know. We actually now have 50 subscribers on YouTube.
50?
Yes,
Wait.
that's a celebration.
And you just
Thank you to
posted your
everyone that subscribed.
engagement video.
Yes, which also, I have to say, thank you to everyone for all of the love that I've gotten from that video. That was sweet. It's very intimidating to post something like that on the internet.
Why?
Okay, because you kind of overthink. You're like, oh no, like,
She
my
did send me a
reaction,
Snapchat. Because she was going to you're going to post on your Instagram story that you posted. And she sent me, she was like, is this, what word did you use?
I was like, is it like stuck up and selfish if I post
this
this on my
you
Instagram?
Literally got engaged.
I know. I just always am so cautious about that because I don't want to ever come off as like, oh, me, look at me in my life. Like,
I think
no.
When you get engaged, I think you have a reason to be like me because like that's awesome.
Okay, yeah. Well,
but it
that's
wasn't.
why I have
but
her
it
to
also
tell me.
wasn't.
Okay, that's good. But yeah, a lot of people reached out and sent me super sweet messages, and that means everything.
You look at the camera so much when we're talking. I feel like I never look at the camera. Hi, people.
Sometimes I talk to I look at both of you.
I'm not ignoring you.
But yeah, so today, first episode back, we thought that we would talk about passion because we just went to Passion.
Yeah, we went to Passion.
And then the next episode this month is going to kind of be like a January recap. So
hopefully, we've been trying to get an engagement recap thing in the midst, but her fiance is incredibly hard
kind
to
of,
schedule.
Working a lot right now, so his work schedule's a little bit crazy. But we're gonna get him on eventually.
No forgiveness.
We will.
0.
But in the meantime, you have us. So hopefully you like listening to
us. They hear enough of us.
That's true. That's
true.
They want more diversity. But yeah, Passion 2024. No words.
And that's it for the podcast today, everybody.
Thank you for watching. But
okay.
How do we want to kind of walk them through like all the fun things that happen?
I'm thinking we start how it started, how it went, and okay. Yeah. So when when did you buy your ticket for Passion?
I bought my ticket for Passion literally like the day after I got back.
Yeah, I was gonna say I bought mine like immediately, so we knew it was at least us and then Juliana, our sister, who were going, and then a couple of our friends wanted to go, so we were like, oh, let's get a hotel, see if we can find another couple other girls to come. And then I think it was Hunter was the guy who wanted to come. Yeah. And so we were like, well, that really stinks. You have to find your own hotel and pay for it, because Atlanta do be taking advantage of all these college students who are coming.
Truly, it's so bad.
And they rack up the prices for the hotels. So I felt so bad, especially because we were staying extra night because it was also my birthday.
Oh, yes. That's it. We got to mention that later on.
But then he ended up, couple of his friends fell through, and then, last minute, 4 other guys ended up coming.
Yeah, I remember, throughout the year, we asked multiple guys. We'd be like, oh, my gosh, Passion, you want to come? And they'd all be like, I'll think about it. No. And then at the end, all the guys were just like, oh, yeah, we'll come. It was
literally, I swear we asked all of them, and they said no. Most of them said no. Yeah, and then they ended up coming.
But
we love them for it. It was a really good group.
It was an awesome
I was scared
group.
going into it, not gonna lie.
No,
there
all
were
of us were. I think I had conversations with multiple different people being like, all right, this is very unpredictable. We could either all leave this trip hating each other, no one's on speaking terms, or we come back and it was amazing. And I had a 0.1% positive outlook that it would come back as good as it did.
Okay, 0.1%.
Sorry,
wow.
I worded that.
You had no hope.
Just because a lot of our past things we've all done together have ended with at least 2 people being like, oh, I'm done with you now.
This was it was filled with the Lord though. All of us were there for the Lord, and that changed.
And he truly was in the center of our friend group because everyone came back and it was incredible. So that I know of. I mean,
we called ourselves the Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
Which I was just talking to
actually, I wasn't there when you guys made that name.
Oh well.
So I need to know the meaning behind it.
There's just 12 of us.
Oh, okay.
And it's a dozen.
That was
the dirty dozen.
I was expecting a really cool story.
No. And then Juliana and I were talking yesterday. We were like, oh, we should have been the 12 disciples.
I like Dirty Dozen better. I just think of what's that? The camp movie, A Week Away, and their group is called the Disciples, and I was like, what?
That's funny. No, yeah. So there were 12 of us.
Yeah.
So we flew. Let's go like over the details.
Yes.
And then we'll go over like the deepness.
Yes. How was your first time flying? Like,
it was not my first time flying.
Alone. Like,
my first time flying alone?
Yeah.
Oh, it was chill.
Okay.
It was fine. Like, I mean, I wasn't scared going into it. We also have, like, security would have been the scariest part, but I've, like, done that playing enough, like, by myself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my parents, like, were there, like, kind of around. But, like, I'm a perfectly capable woman.
Yeah.
Was it your first time, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. How was that for you?
Well, the difference
she was, like, you were, like, really alone. You were just with Sam.
Yeah, because they had, like, a group of 6 of you guys.
Yeah.
That all flew together. So it was like their first time, but they all had like a big group where it was just me and Sam. And I think it was Sam's first time flying alone too. And I'm a very forgetful person, kind of like, you know what I mean? Like head in the clouds. And so the whole time I was panicking. Like I was checking for my phone, my wallet the whole time. Like I knew I just put my bag. 3 seconds later, I'm like, oh my gosh, Sam, wait. I like made him stop. I was like, let me look for my phone.
Imagine how patient he has to be.
He is so patient.
Oh
and
gosh.
I literally, we'll get that like into that later, but he like really, it was just a glimpse into what the future is going to be like with it just being us, because he is so patient. So patient. I was such a like
literally if it were me and you going on this one, oh my gosh, imagine.
No, like we would have been able to do fine, but it just takes a different level of like love for someone and patience to be able to do that, and he did so good. And I truly was just like thanking God. I was like, thank you. I was like, I chose right. Like I'm all set for the future, but yeah, it was a good flight. I was extremely sick the entire flight. I never get sick traveling. I love traveling. And that first plane ride, absolutely terrible. Like the ginger ale wasn't helping. The snacks they were giving wasn't helping. I couldn't sleep. And so when we got off that plane, I was like, thank you, Jesus. And 2 of our friends were there waiting. So it was a bunch of us just chilling, waiting for you guys to get off your plane. It took forever.
Oh my gosh.
So fun. No,
we literally got our flight before you guys.
Yeah.
It's not our fault.
I know. Yeah, it was good though.
It was one of in our group that flew all together. There was one of the girls. It was her first time flying ever.
Yes.
Period. Which was so fun.
That's so. I heard so many stories.
There were the humor on this trip. Yeah. Top tier.
Yeah.
So good. I haven't laughed so much in so long. It was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we all landed and we went to, we all Ubered together, which I think it was my first time in an Uber, period, too.
No, it literally was. I swore I would never get into an Uber.
It wasn't bad, though.
It wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad. I mean, I kind of, like, have a different perspective on Ubers now. Like, I get it. Like, they're fine. They're like, they've been checked. They're there to do that.
The sauce is less.
But when we got there too, it was so funny because there was just a random car waiting there. And
yeah, no,
literally, the concept of a few of our friends considered getting into the car with this guy, and I'm just sitting there going, no.
Like the idea behind like getting into an Uber still baffles me. Like literally, the fact that you just like look at a license plate, you don't tell them your name or anything. You just look at the license plate, confirm, you just get in.
Yeah, I was terrified. At first, I was just like, no, like, I will wait at this airport until I was like, this is too scary. But then it was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
The guys got into theirs, and we just, like, sent a little text, like, okay, Sam. I was like, let me know when you get there. I'm just off with a random man in Atlanta. But it was fine. It worked out, and we had some good Ubers. I wish we had funny stories. I wanted the Elvis guy. Like, I've heard about the Elvis Ubers, but we didn't get him.
Yeah, then we ate at First Watch, which is one of our favorite places. Sponsor us.
Please.
Their tacos are so good. I never finished the breakfast tacos, but I love them so much.
First Watch is the only restaurant I can go to where I finish every single thing on my plate and I'm eating off of other people's plates.
That's saying something big for you.
Yes, it is my favorite place ever. It's very good. But
wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, we found a celebrity at First Watch.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know who he was.
I don't either. Our friend Rachel found him, but
She was like, I know him. And I was like, where?
Yeah, he's like a TikToker, which is funny because there's a lot of Christian influencers and TikTokers at Passion. Like, it is
I was gonna say, especially at Passion, like if you're an influencer and you're not there.
Yeah, and they all sit on the floor. I kept yesterday.
One girl that I followed didn't sit on the floor. Really? She was in like an area where we were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Because yesterday I was just scrolling on Rolls. I'm so tired. Reels.
Rolls Royce.
Reels. And I just came across so many Passion videos, and all of the influencers.
Tell them.
What?
You made a reel. Oh, we'll tell them later.
Oh, yeah. That we can
tell them. Yeah, I have something to tell them.
Okay, yeah. You tell them.
I posted on my story that I was headed to Passion, and they replied to my story.
Yes.
In all caps. They said, see you there, or was it soon? Something with 3 exclamation points and a blue heart. Made my day.
She was freaking out. It was so good. We were like, yes, what a great start to the trip. We feel like the influencers that are here. But yeah, we went to First Watch. We went back to the hotel, checked in, which our hotel was pretty cool compared to the guys.
We had a nice hotel.
It was very cool. There was a Starbucks in there. It was so
it was amazing. I don't know if you guys used it at all, but we had made to order breakfast.
I didn't.
I got one of the days I got an omelet just with bacon because I don't like anything else in it. But they loaded that thing up with the bacon. Way. It was so good.
I'm still so bitter I didn't try the breakfast.
No. I think you would have enjoyed it, actually.
Really? I think I would have loved it. It looked really good.
They had pancakes. It was so good. Anyway.
But yeah, then from getting ready, we went and a group went and stood in line, and it started raining.
It was, okay, also cold. It was so cold.
I was expecting warm Atlantic. I was going to say warm Atlanta weather, and I was lied to, okay? Actually not, because one of our friends sent us the weather, but I felt betrayed by Atlanta.
She just didn't do the research.
I didn't, but like I was expecting beautiful like weather, palm trees, sun. It was not like that.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I felt so bad. So the boys went to their hotel, and then like we got then we got lunch after we went to the hotel. And so some of the boys went back to their hotel. Some of them just like went and hang out at ours. And so Hunter didn't get to change his shoes between the airport or anything.
Yeah.
So he was still wearing slides and socks when we were waiting in line while it was raining and freezing. And one of his biggest pet peeves, like, you don't mess around with this, is wet socks. I've learned this a lot recently. Like, you don't play with Hunter and like wet socks.
Yeah.
I felt so bad.
That's terrible.
And it was freezing, and he didn't have a jacket. I didn't have a jacket either, but then our friend brought me one of my jackets. But I was like,
yeah, it was rough. But like everyone was so excited. We still stood out there, but minus some of the guys were like sleeping because they didn't feel good, or one of them didn't feel good. Well, I don't know what happened, but but we were in line, and then we went into the Benz, and
with 55,000 other young adults.
We had never experienced the Benz because last year when we went, we were in State Farm Arena.
And there was only it's only like 17,000-ish.
Yeah,
there.
And it was crazy. Like, it was huge.
But it also didn't feel that much bigger to me.
No, I told Sam that. And he was like, you have to remember that just this section is, like, this many thousand people. And I was like...
But, like, it doesn't feel that much bigger. Like, I just would look around and I'd be like, this seems right. The stage was smaller this year, too. I swear.
Yeah.
And so just, like, that was interesting to me.
No, it was. But then I was looking at the stage, and I was like, I feel like it's actually not as small as it looks like, just because it's so big. It's probably bigger. It's like, it's huge.
Well, this year, they didn't use that middle part that much.
That's true.
Last year, I feel like they had people there, and they didn't use, like, the walkway.
That's true. But, yeah, so then we all just got settled into our seats, and then they started Passion. And I love how they started Passion.
I loved it so much.
They started with the song Praise to kind of, like, get the hype, you know, get everyone excited. And then it wasn't even the full song, though. It was just like a little snippet of it. And then it went into like very acoustic, one spotlight, one singer,
no lights,
older, like, what would you call them? Not hymns, just like older Christian
older
songs.
Classics. Yeah.
Yes. And I thought that was amazing because I think especially I was thinking about it from the perspective of people whose first time it was there and they didn't know what to expect. That was kind of like a great way to like ease into it.
Yeah, it's also like a great way because I feel like while it is a really cool experience, a lot of people if it was their first time, maybe going into it expecting it to be a concert.
Yeah.
And to go for fun.
Yeah.
But, like, the way they started it was, like, we're not here to, like, perform.
Yeah.
We're just here to worship.
Yeah.
And they just had, like, the spotlight and everything. And I was like, this is, like, no better way to start something like this.
Yeah.
Than just to be like, the focus is not on me.
Yeah. And another little side thing that is just, like, I thought was so cool about that is that going into it, so we had explained, like, the last podcast that Sam was kind of, like, iffy on, like, if he wanted to go or not, all of that, blah, blah, blah. And then we were walking. It was me, Juliana, and Rachel, and Sam. We were walking back to the hotel at night, and we were just talking about the day. I think it was, like, second day. And he was like, in all honesty, like, I went into Passion thinking that I was going to find multiple things to nitpick and be like, oh, this, like, they did all this and this and this. And, like, and he was like, but, like, 100%, like, being honest, like, I truly believe that every single person that walked out onto that stage was doing it for God. And, like, it was for God. And there was, like, they took completely themselves out of it. And I was just like, like, that's so, because I really was like, oh no, like, what if like people on the trip don't like it, like if it's their first time, they think it's for the wrong reasons. And I think starting it out that way was just so incredible, because it just showed, like, oh, it's not about the lights, it's not about the concert, it's not about the smoke, like one of the speakers said, it's like, it's about God. And it was just it was incredible.
Yeah,
amazing.
I don't even remember who spoke that night. It was
Sadie.
Literally, looking back,
Sadie
it was all
spoke.
a huge blur.
I know, it really was.
Okay, Sadie and then Ben.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Sadie and Ben spoke, which, incredible. They were so good. Wait, should we, like, give a little bit, like, what we thought about each of them, or no?
Yeah, you can. I don't remember everything about all of them, though. I stored it up here. And so I was talking to my mom about this, actually. She was like, so, like, what did you get out from it? Like, what was, like, your highlight and your takeaway? She was like, did you take notes? I was like, I took notes last year.
Yeah.
And they kind of just live in my phone, and I never look at them.
Yeah.
So going into it this year, I was like, well, I'll tell you a little bit about what I was thinking going into it. So going into this year, I've been struggling a lot with, like, worship and just, like, finding quiet time by myself to worship, not just at church. And so going into it, that was my main goal, was to just worship. And so, yes, the speakers, and, like, I knew the speakers were going to be amazing, because they pick literally the best of the best. And they all are so authentic. It's amazing. But going into it, I was like, if I want to take notes, if, like, something really stands out, I will. But, like, if it really stands out, I'm going to remember it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did going into it.
That makes sense. I didn't take notes either this year, and the only reason I kind of do, like, fully remember them is because when we got back, I did rewatch Passion online on the TV.
Okay, I didn't rewatch it.
I did rewatch it, so it's a little bit fresher than, like,
okay, there you go. Okay,
being a while
the
back.
next part of this segment is brought to you by Jaden.
No, yeah, I'll probably say things, and you'll be like, oh yeah, like, let me.
Yeah, I'll be like, you carry.
Okay, so, well, Sadie spoke first, and one thing that I loved about Sadie's is that it was a little bit different than what I had expected her to speak on.
Yeah, it's very different for Sadie, I felt
like. I think a lot of times she is a little bit more topical, in the sense that she'll kind of pick a story in the Bible and then relate it back to, like, what we can take from it as young adults. And so she basically just talked about the Bible and, like, the importance of the Bible and it being lost in our generation, which that is a topic literally not a lot of people talk about. And I thought that was so needed, because it is so true how our generation really is not as good about being in our Bible reading, like, scripture memory, remembering things. Like, that's not something that we have kind of trained ourselves to do because of the world that we live in. It's so
the
quick.
Technology we have too. Like, we don't need to, like, if we need to come up with a verse or something, it's just, like, literally at our fingertips.
Yeah, and so she summed up, like, the entire Bible in 15 minutes, and I was just like, I aspire to be able to do that. Like, I aspire to be able to go up to someone.
Also, all the connections, too. Yeah. Like, how she did it, like, because I feel like it's very easy to just sum up the Bible.
Yeah.
But she didn't just sum it up. Like, she connected every story to every part of the Bible, which I thought was incredible. Yeah,
highly. You can actually still, I think it's till, like, January 31st, you can go back and rewatch Passion. So we highly suggest you do that, because it was so good. But yeah, so Sadie kind of talked about the Bible and how, like, our generation, the world is going to be pulling us in all different directions, and how important that is. So that was Sadie. That was amazing.
Yeah, she cried.
I know.
Which like do that often when she speaks?
I don't know.
There were a lot of people actually on stage at Passion who would like tear up and like cry, and I was like, this is new. I was like, I feel like normally like the more professional people aren't just like tearing up and crying on stage. And so I was like, wow.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this yesterday because we had like a staff meeting to kind of debrief Passion, and I've just been like really thinking about Passion and everything the past few days since I've gotten back. And I was like, I think that this Passion was so special and different because of the day and age that we are living in. Like, I think because of 2024 and the next few years, it's going to be so unpredictable. And like, there's, you know, people are like, oh, the world's going to end. Like, there's talk of like God's coming back, all these revelation things. It's just spiraling. And I think that it was such an emotional Passion and such an important one because like, it's so unknown for our generation. Like, we could next year, like, Christianity could be one of, like, the most persecuted things, like, in our country, in America. And, like, we don't know. Like, we don't know what it's going to be like. So I think that's why, like, watching them cry, like, they just know it in their hearts, like, how important the information that they are saying is. And I was just like, that has not left my mind. Like,
no,
it's kind of scary to think about, but it's not. And the fact that, like, it was so needed to go to Passion and hear everything we did because times are changing.
Even the theme, it was Calling Heaven. And just like knowing that and like the songs they chose and like what they focused on, you can just tell like not only the people on stage, but everybody, there was just like a longing for heaven.
Yeah.
And just they were like, it's happening soon. Like everybody in their hearts, I feel like whether it's like our kind of soon or like God's kind of soon, we don't know. But in our hearts, there's something stirring, and we just want heaven to like invade earth. Yeah. No matter if it's a revival or if it's literally we're being taken up to heaven. That's just our heart's true desire is for that to happen. And I thought it was so awesome. Like, and also another way I would describe it is just sovereign and holy and divine.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
There was so much like reverence and respect for just like everything that was happening. And I thought it was so cool.
And it was cool to like, I've never been like face to face with the idea of like how soon we are to like the end times or like how like picturing God up in heaven. Like I have not had an experience to where I've had that before. And being at Passion, like you said, like everything was all about calling on heaven, like Christ coming back, it being so holy, and like it was just such a crazy feeling inside because you're standing there and you're singing these words and you're just like literally any day and just thinking about like how in heaven that's what we're gonna be doing, like we're gonna be praising God. It's just I can't even describe that feeling because I've never had to experience that before.
I feel like we should hold up and just talk about the whole like the moment of Passion 2024. So basically they had been singing, what is the name of the song?
Oh my gosh. Holy, holy, holy is Lord God Almighty. No, that's not the right one.
No.
There's like 5 different holy.
Holy is the Lord.
Worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lamb.
Yeah,
holy.
So that song, if you're a Christian, you know. So that song, and they were singing it, and so then you can kind of tell that they were kind of ending the song, and they were transitioning, but you know how worship leaders like kind of like leave a moment. And so they left the moment, but everybody just started to continue to sing it. And it was so, like, in the seats, you're singing it. And it was 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it did not feel like, this is day 2, by the way, did not feel like 20 minutes. I thought people were joking.
Yeah, it really did not feel that long at all. And this is actually on YouTube. You can go, someone recorded it, made a whole video. You can go back and watch it. But it was, and you could just tell on the musicians' faces too, like they had not planned that. And like getting to experience that as a musician, I can't even imagine. Oh,
and like they were in the middle. Imagine like people on the floor too, just literally being able to look up and turn around. Like that is heaven. Yeah. On so many different levels. Like it says that we're singing holy, like endlessly in heaven. Yeah. And we were singing holy. Yeah. And there's like literally no frame of time in heaven, and we thought it was like 3 minutes, and it was 20 minutes.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things, if you go back and watch the video on YouTube, is like you can literally see like light shining in. Like it wasn't like one of their lights. Like it was light from the sky shining right in onto the stage and like right where people are. And that's like crazy Like, I'm not being like, oh, like, that's God right there. Like, he's like, no, I'm just like, that, when you watch that, it is incredible to see. Like, you can just tell, like, God was there in that moment. And I don't even know. No words. Yeah. My favorite passion. I've only been to 2, but my favorite one so far. It was my favorite. But yeah, so Sadie spoke, and then Ben came up and spoke, and
back to day 1.
Oh yeah, back to day 1. Now we're kind of jumping all over. But Ben spoke on the parable of the 4 sowers. I think the 4 sowers and the seeds. And I'm not going to get too much into everything he talked about because, like, you can go back and watch that. But one thing that I loved about his is that he kind of started off the message in a way that made me jump out of my seat. And I was like, wait, what did he just say? Because he was talking about how sometimes the Bible is hard to understand. Like, you read it and you're like, what the heck did I just read? I can't, like, I don't understand this. And when he was like, that's kind of like Jesus did that. Like, that was like weird. Like, why would Jesus do that? And like, he just left it like that. And in my head, I'm like, why is this speaker coming up on the stage and be like, why did Jesus do something? I'm like, where is this going? And then he really got me, because like, that's literally how I feel so many times while I'm reading the Bible. Like, I'll read a part of the Bible and I'm like, I don't know what the heck God is talking about right now. And then I skip over it. And he was just talking about the importance of, like, it's not about understanding what it's saying. It's having the right heart posture to want to know what he's saying and like to want to learn more. And that was very much needed for me. But yeah, that was Ben. I'm trying to think what else happened day 1 after that.
Literally, I would need to see a schedule.
Yeah. Other than that, like, we had some good...
Crowder.
Oh,
I loved Crowder. Crowder is the best part. Not the best part, but like the best concert portion.
Yeah.
Because they always do that and then like some kind of other rapper or whatever. Yeah. Crowder always gets turned, you know?
Crowder was 50-50 with our friend group.
Yeah, very 50-50.
Either people were living their best lives. I wish I took a video. Sam told me to take a video of you. And I was like, my phone's literally at 2%. She was getting so into it. It was hilarious. And you can just see Hunter. And like, Hunter's like trying to get into it, but like can't fully get into it. Because he's just like there. And you're just like full on. And Sam and I are just watching him in the back, dying laughing. And then like part of our other friend group, Sam was like not a Crowder fan. He was like, my chest is literally in pain.
Everybody was talking about the bass and whatever, and I was like, I was having so much fun. Like, this was perfect.
Yeah, it was hilarious. And other parts of our friend groups left early. One of them was like, I'm not going to do it if we're going to be pulling a Crowder again. It was so fun.
I think there is a video somewhere of me, like, being like this. Is. And then it pans to, like, Hannah, and she's like...
You had to just be a Crowder fan. Like, he does amazing.
I don't listen. Crowder, really? I have 2 songs on my playlist, but I knew all the songs. Mm-hmm. It was so funny. And I was like, yeah. And then Hunter doesn't know the songs at all either.
Yeah.
And so he was just vibing with me.
Yeah, it was cute. It was funny. But yeah, Crowder it was an experience. He's amazing.
I loved it. Thank you, Crowder.
Yeah, thank you for serving. Okay, then day 2. We all went back to the hotel and crashed. Actually, no. That's the night 2 of our people are sick. Mm-hmm. Okay? They're sick. So
down for the count.
We're starting off this trip with 2 of our people sick. That was terrible. So then next morning starts and half of our group went down early. We kind of took shifts this trip.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
It like wasn't planned, but it was good.
Yeah. Like part of the group. So not everyone had to be up at like 6 a.m. rushing to get ready and waiting in the cold line. It was like, okay, we'll give people a break. So some people went down. I was one of the group that got to sleep in that morning, which I was very thankful for. But yes, thank you.
We got breakfast.
Yeah.
And we had the maid to order breakfast. So I was like, okay, so in my head, my plan was to go down, grab breakfast, put it in like some sort of to-go thing, walk, like at butt crack of dawn, get over there. Everybody else was kind of just like chilling. They like walked down and I'm just like, are we going? They're just eating their breakfast, which was fine because we ended up getting in line at like, what time did the doors open?
You guys got in line at 7:30, you said.
Yeah, so we got in line around 7:30, 7:15, I think. And it wasn't bad. Like, we got really pretty good seats. Mm-hmm. But it was still, like, it didn't go according to my plan. At one point, I was like, okay, let's go. And I just started walking toward it. I didn't know if anybody was following me. I was just like, I'm leaving.
It's like all of, like, the like, deep personality. Just like, we're going. If you want to come, fine. I'm getting a good seat.
I started walking, and then I turned around, and I just see Hunter, and I was like, yes. And he walked with me, and I was just like, cool, because I had no idea where I was going, actually.
And then there's just me, like, sleeping during that time, like, not even knowing what's going on.
It's like, ah.
Yeah, but yeah, so then day 2, I didn't even remember how that started. There was so much that happened. That's like the full day of Passion.
Yeah, that's like, we were there, you're there 8:15 to, we were there till midnight.
Yeah, I will say that the food at the Benz was pretty good this year, okay?
Yeah.
Like, it's your typical, like, stadium food, but, like,
it was actually food.
They had a good amount of options, and I don't know if you know, well, I'm sure you did because you walked around, but they had, like, mac and cheese carts, hibachi carts, Philly cheesesteak carts.
Really?
Yeah, during lunchtime, these people brought in their, like, businesses, set them up, except the lines were, like, all the way down the stadium, doubled up, and they looked
I saw some
good.
sort of, like, Indian or, like, Jamaican or something, and I was like, oh, that's cool, but not mine.
So they had really good food this year.
Yeah, we got a pizza for...
Yeah, we did. It wasn't a bad pizza. It was pretty
it's
good.
actually, I was craving pizza, so it worked out.
But, yeah, so for some of the speakers that day, we had Levi, which was amazing. He talked about suffering, which all of them talked about, like, how your Christian life is going to be hard, which, again, very much needed in today's day and age, because that's also something that we can get very comfortable with, like, American Christianity, but, like, in reality, it's not supposed to be easy, and there's going to be hard times. So that was awesome. Earl kind of talked about similar things, and then also talked about, like, not making deals with the devil, which, again, our culture is all about that. So that was awesome.
No deal.
No deal is what his main thing was. And he was hilarious. I'd never heard him speak before.
Oh my gosh. I have never heard him speak the way he talks about his wife.
So good.
Oh my gosh. I turned to Hunter and I said, if you ever. I was like, no, thank you.
I know. I was like, no, I could not have a husband.
But honestly, I would probably be flattered. I'd be like, no.
Yeah, but like looking back, I did like a little stalk because like I had to like go back, and his family looks so awesome, and like his wife, not what I would have expected. Like really? She's like seems like picture, one of the sweetest women ever. Like I would, and not that I'm saying I didn't expect her to be sweet. Well, I kind of pictured her to be like very like strong and like I don't know, like just the way that he presented himself. I was like, okay, I feel like they'd be like one of those like
a power couple,
like power couples, which they are, but just not in the way I had expected. Because she's very like chill and like sweet, and like if you just watch any type of thing of them on Instagram, like they seem amazing. And it's just like I just want to get to know their family more. But she seems like she'd be like all for it. Funny. Like she'd be all about the compliments that he gave. But yeah, I can't remember some of the others that happened that day.
Oh, Louis,
of course, you know.
We love Louis, but Louis went over.
Yeah, they were like 20 minutes over,
and they gave him extra time. We could see the little time clock that they gave him. Yeah, they gave him extra time, and he went over. And I mean, it was a good message, but I was kind of cranky at the end, and I did zone out because I wanted to leave, but I didn't because there was still worship at the end with Phil Wickham and Brennan Lake, and
that was so
a large majority of our group was excited for it, and so I was like,
yeah. So
I stayed, but I was cranky by the last 15 minutes of Louis. I was like,
chill. Okay, Louis.
Like, thank you. I'll hear from you on Sunday at Passion City Church.
I can't even remember what he talked about partly because it was amazing. I was so tired. That was the period where they put him was the stage of your like red zone where you're literally sitting there and you're like.
I think they should have switched him and Earl.
Yeah, because they did Earl earlier and
you could not have slept while Earl was on stage.
Yeah, you're right. I would agree with that swap, but it was still good. And then Phil and Brandon.
Again, they were good. I was just too tired to appreciate it.
It was amazing. I have never seen Phil like in person before because he wasn't at Passion last year, and that was really cool to see. And their dynamic was so good. Like Brandon and Phil were made to perform together. They were so good.
That's so funny.
Another funny thing was that the previous night when Crowder was there, half of the group left. Actually, no, I think a majority. It was like 4 of us were left, and then all of a sudden they bring Tim Tebow out on the stage, and we told our group the next day, and they were like, we missed Tim Tebow. You're pranking us. You're like, no, like you guys just you missed Tim Tebow. So that was just really funny. But yeah, that day, I think we just all went to sleep and crashed again. I don't think anything else crazy happened that day.
No. So after Brendan Lake and Phil Wickham, I had been talking to Hunter and I was like, I need to leave. now, because this is the day before my birthday, and I was like, I want to sleep. And so we literally leave immediately after running to the hotel because so many people.
Yeah, there were
so many people. And we're like dodging and weaving, go to the hotel. And as this is happening, 12 o'clock hits, so it's my birthday. And so I get a call from my mom. I'm literally running. And I'm like, hi. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get to the hotel. I'm just tired. I just want to sleep. And she's like, okay, call me later or whatever. And so then I got to the hotel room, and the girls hadn't gotten there or anything. Yes. And so I was ready. I was about to fall asleep. Take a good, like, restful night of sleep for my birthday. And then the girls come in, and they're like, oh, Jaelyn, close your eyes. You're sleeping. And I'm like, what do you want from me? And so I end up closing my eyes, and they're literally on top of me, like, stepping on me or whatever, putting up, like, streamers and balloons, which is so super sweet. It was really fun. And yeah, so then they did that, and they sang happy birthday to me, and it was sweet. But then I got to sleep, so it was good.
Yeah, that was so fun. You only turned 20 in Atlanta once, so, like, you got to go all out.
True.
But yeah, then the next day was her birthday.
Yeah, I got to sleep in.
Oh, she did get to sleep in.
That was so my morning. Good.
So it was me.
Sleeping in on that day was amazing. Wait, what?
No, I was just thinking back. It was, okay, there was supposed to be a group of us that day standing in line to save seats. And then we walked down, and it was me, Sam, and Hannah. Only 3 that showed up, which we love the other group. It was just funny. It was only the 3 of us that showed up.
Really?
Yeah. So, well, at first.
I would have murdered.
So Sam was supposed to, like, Sam was the leader of the guys, and he was. He woke them up, and he was like, guys, we need to go down. Like, I told Jaden I would be there at this time. Like, I will be waiting for her at this time.
Also, I think it's so sweet. Like, I feel like Sam and Hunter, both of them, they were like, we told them we were going to be here at this time. Yeah. We're going to be there.
Yeah, and which I appreciated so much. Because, like, I know, Sam was exhausted. He did not want to wake up early, but he did it because I was like, please just do it for me. And, like, because everyone else needs a break. So he's like, okay, I will be there at 7:15. So sure enough, he's there at 7:15. And Hannah and I are in line at Starbucks because we're like, okay, if we're going to be standing out there in the cold, we want to get Starbucks. So we, like, had somehow gotten in, like, the perfect spot at line to order Starbucks on the app and get it to still get in line by 7:30. And so Sam waited for us, and then it was absolutely freezing. And Sam's the only guy that, like, got up. He's standing in the line with us, and he's he's just not having it, not in, like, a bad way, just, like, in the sense that he is, like, in pain. He's so cold, and he's just standing there, and we're all waiting for everyone else to show up. We're like, all right, guys, like, we're out here waiting. And eventually they did right when the doors opened. But that's okay because we loved everyone.
No, because the way I would have, like, called them and murdered them so
Hannah was like,
fast.
They're going to be the one. They have to run through the entire stadium. They have to go get our seats. We're walking. We're not going to try to save them. And they did. They're like, okay, we'll run through the stadium and get the seats. And I was like, okay. But Sam, if you're listening, you're a trooper, and we love and appreciate you for standing in the line for, like, an hour in the cold when you didn't want to. So thank you. But yeah, it was good. Then we went in, found seats. They were all still, like, sleeping, had some breakfast.
Yeah, no, by the time I woke up, like, I heard people moving around, but I thought it was, like, the people who were getting up for the early shift. I woke up and, like, it was 9 o'clock, and I was like, no, I was like, we have to be going, like, we should be there. And we got there, like, just before it started.
Yeah, I remember sitting there waiting, and I was like, they must, like, it was fine because I knew when it was gonna start. I was just like, oh, they must be, like, just, like, really enjoying the morning, because I was surprised. Like, I thought you would be there, like,
that was my plan.
8 o'clock, I was like, oh, they're gonna be down here, Jaelyn wants to be here, and you weren't. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, good for them though, honestly, like, just, like, eating breakfast and chilling. But yeah, also it was funny because we were like, oh, like, where's everyone else? Everyone's like, oh, I was helping Hunter pick out his outfit to surprise Jaelyn, like, for her birthday. He has, like, a little birthday day surprise. I was like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh, yeah, and then I woke up, and then Hunter came, and he gave me his little birthday gift. He gave me a card and little coupons he bought me my birthday meal and a drink from the place we went to.
Yeah, that was so cute.
It was super sweet.
So, yeah, that was that passion. That last day, we spoke,
Christine came. That was my favorite of the whole.
You can explain
my favorite of the whole. So she talked about new wine and, like, what is it? Wine.
Wineskins.
Wineskins. I'm not 21, guys. Yeah, I don't know.
We wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Wait, no one uses wineskins though nowadays, even if they're 21.
Well, true, but like still, I don't drink alcohol, so like I don't even need to know.
Imagine.
Anywho, so she talked about new wine and just about how like each like wine skin is like perfectly catered for like when you originally pour the original wine and like how it adjusts to it. And so how you can't pour new wine into an old skin because it will like literally destroy it. And so she equated that basically to being a new believer or like growing in your faith, and how you can't grow up and equate yourself and compare yourself to other people and try to be the next person of like.
Dude, we took away 2 different things from this message. I didn't know that's what she said. Like, was I misinterpreting this entire?
Dead.
Okay, wait, keep going. I like am ever hearing this message for the first time.
So she talked about how like as we're growing our faith, not to compare ourselves because like our way of growing is completely unique to the other person, and we would like destroy ourselves if we tried to be like the other person. And how we also, she talked about how we can't say that like old things, like in our culture, like old things aren't as good, because old wine like is good wine. Like the old wineskins, what you're going to pour from that is going to be the best. It's going to be better than the new, contrary to like what we like think, which is why I thought it was so special how they also started the night with the old songs. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And it also kind of convicted me about singing like hymns at church. But anyway, I digress. But so she was talking about that, and that just really hit me because like I feel like so much I try to be like the next like person or whatever. And then there's something else she said that I really liked, but I'm forgetting at this moment in time. It was really good too though. But no, I love Christine's message. It was so, she's always so good.
She is.
I love everything that comes out of her mouth, and she's so real. She was pouring the wine and she was like, for all you Baptists, this is grape juice. Actually,
I absolutely died because it's so true. It's just like, oh my gosh, yes, wine,
so good. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So also, as she was talking about I don't know if this is like accurate or whatever, but it's like a little takeaway that I had, but like when you're like pouring wine into like the wineskin or whatever, like you pour it in, that causes some kind of like transition or whatever. And so like in our lives, like we go through ups and downs, so like maybe that's like a down, or like when you get shaken, like when your faith is shaken and you feel God moving, and then you're like in this wineskin for like a really long time and like nothing's really happening, and you're just kind of like vibing, and you're like, God, like what are you doing, like where are you? And then you get poured out, and that's like when you get shaken or whatever, and like when you like get used, or like your highlight of your life, you know. And so I was like, that's kind of cool, just also that perspective. She didn't say that exactly, but that's something that I got out of it.
Well, I feel like she kind of did, like you described it really well, like what she was talking about, which it was awesome. Jaelyn already said everything you say about Christine Kane. She was so good.
What did you get out of it?
I got the second half out of it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get the first half. When you were saying that, I was like, oh, that's really good. I was like,
wait, what part?
The part where she was just talking about how like older things, we can be so quick to be like, oh, away with the old, and with the new, but like you need them hand in hand. Like you can't have just new,
because also you're gonna get rid of the old.
Yeah. So Christine Kane spoke, and then after that, it was all about Jaelyn's birthday, day out in the Atlanta town. It was amazing. One of my favorite things is when we were all chilling after, we'll go into what we did, but we were all chilling after one of the things, and Sam was like, do we have to go there? And he took one look at you, and you were like, and he was like, I am so excited to go there. And I was like, that's the spirit, that's the answer for today.
Yes, you're doing it. But I feel like he was a good sport throughout the day.
Oh no, he was. He had fun. Yeah. It was good.
It wasn't, okay, so what we did. So after we went, and we basically went to the hotel. So the girls went and the guys went, and we just kind of did our own thing. And then we got Sweetgreen, which I never really like had Sweetgreen before, but I really enjoyed it.
It's really good. It was
really good.
That was the second time I've had it, and I like want one near us. It's so
I know,
good.
like I'm kind of craving it right now.
I know, it's so good.
But so we did that, and then we went to the Coca-Cola museum, like the world of Coca-Cola, and we got to try a bunch of Cokes and the drink Coca-Cola.
Yes, let's clarify that, you know.
We got to try a bunch, some disgusting, some good. Personally, I stand by like just Coke.
Just plain old Coke.
Just plain old. It's really good. Some of them were disgusting.
Oh my gosh. One tasted like actual vomit. I don't know how.
One was. Did you try the barbecue sauce one?
No.
There was a barbecue sauce Coke.
I did not get through all the taste testing. Some of them, like, literally made it through every single flavor. I made it through a few and was done. Like, literally, I was about to throw up.
I burped the best burp I ever burped. Literally, it was so good. And I was standing next to, actually, it was me and Hannah. We, like, burped at the same time. And then Hunter was just standing there. And I was just like, yeah, that's what you get.
I love that.
It was so funny. So then we did that, and then did we go back to the hotels for a little bit, and we just chilled?
Yeah.
I got my birthday drink from Starbucks, and I just kind of chilled in the lobby area with Hunter while we waited for everybody, just so we could just have some time to hang out by ourselves. And then we went to a pizza place. Oh,
we all wore party hats.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was so fun.
They came down all in party hats. I was like, yes, I am the center of attention. Everybody will be looking at me. Yes. It was my main character moment day, you know? Mm-hmm. But when we were at the restaurant to eat, we were all wearing party hats, and I had a birthday girl hat on. So it was obvious that we were celebrating a birthday. And so this little girl came up to me, and she tapped me on the shoulder. She goes, "Happy birthday." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And she hands me $5.
A complete stranger.
Literally complete stranger.
We need more people like her in the world today.
It was so sweet. I still have the $5. It's actually my coat over there. It's so sweet. I should frame it.
The world is still a good place because of you.
Such a pure heart.
Yeah.
Literally.
Her little voice. It was like, okay.
It was so, I was like, I looked at her mom or whatever. Like, I was looking at some woman at the table. I don't know if it was her mom or like some random lady, but I was like, is this okay? Like, should I be taking this money? I was like, okay. But it was so sweet. Yeah. And then we ate.
Those are some of the best chicken tenders I've had. So good.
She got chicken tenders. It was a pizza place. She got chicken tenders. They sang happy birthday to us, and they gave us little Italian donut type things, but I'm really pretty sure it's just pizza dough they fried and put cinnamon on.
It was so good though.
But they also, like, at the pizza place I used to work at, they did the same thing.
Really?
And it's so good.
Yeah,
out of this world amazing. Good. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. It was delicious. And they sang happy birthday to me. It was really fun. Then we went to like this little coffee shop place. So Hannah found it, and it's called the Sober Social. So it's like a coffee shop, but also they have mocktails. And if you know anything about me, I love a mocktail. Not so much for the taste. Like, I love the taste. Like, it's so good. But for the cup. I think it's so fun to, like, drink stuff from a fancy cup. But so Hannah was like, this is right up your alley. And I was like, no, you're so right. Did no research into it whatsoever. And so we get the Ubers. Like, we're like, okay, we're bringing us here. Literally, my mom's gonna hate this. She doesn't know this. It was, like, in this, like, sketchy alley type place. I had to, like, get a code to get in the door.
I took one step out of that Uber, looked where we were, and I am a person that I can have very bad, like, anxiety situations. Like, I do not want to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and I took one step out. The Uber's left, so I look around, there's no getaway car. I'm just
there's
sitting
no
there,
getaway car, she says. I wasn't that stressed, though.
It was, like, the rough part of Atlanta, like a rough alley. Like, the buildings didn't even have walls. There were sheets.
Really?
There were sheets covering. It was like a very rough
I didn't notice that. I was just excited for the mocktails.
I just took one. I was just like, okay. And then Millie's like walked as fast as she can. She's like, I'm going to the front of the building. And I was like, I'm following her.
That's so funny. But we got in, guys. It was okay. We got in. It was actually a pretty sweet place. It was nothing like what I expected. It was like definitely like just chill coffee shop. They had like games and stuff. We played a get to know you game. Also, our flight got, like, changed, like, 2 times. And so we also had to do that while we were there. But it was really fun. The drink I had, like, came with, like, it was, like, a little bubble with, like, I don't know what was in it, but it was a bubble on top of it. And when you popped it, like, smoke was really cool.
That's so cool. Yeah, we were, like, me and one of our other friends were like, oh, my gosh. Like, let's go ask the lady.
Oh, my gosh.
How she started this place.
This is wild.
Because we were just so curious. I was like, okay, first of all, the location, 1. 2, like, the doors are locked. Some guy just, like, comes in, lets you in. I had so many questions. Like, what is this place? And
it was okay, for the area, it was a nice place on the inside.
Oh, it was like gorgeous on the inside. It was like I've never would have expected that.
Yeah.
And they were so nice. All of the drinks were so cool. And we were like, what? And we asked her and she was just like, oh, like I just wanted like a place that was different than a coffee shop, like a step up where people can come and just like have fun and hang out and get good drinks, but like also not, she said she wasn't a big drinker. So like she wanted people to come and not be worried about like getting drunk and like sitting there and like not being in the right mind and like having to worry about like getting home, like just a place where friends can come and chill out but like still have good drinks. And I was like, we need more places like that.
Yeah, so we're starting our own.
Yeah, actually, yes. That's the new 2024 What a Life venture.
Actually, yeah, we're stopping the podcast. Come to What a Life drinks.
Yes. Mocktail drinks.
Mocktails, yes. I'm getting tired. Oh my gosh.
I think for that night. So then we came home from the hotel and
that's the night we didn't sleep.
Yeah, so our flight, me and Sam's flight was at 7 something, so we had to leave the hotel at like 5 a.m. I think 5:15 we left. Is that time we left?
We left at 5.
5, yeah. So, and their flight was only like an hour behind ours, so we all just decided let's just stick together, go to the hotel. Go to the airport. And so we were like, okay, it's not worth. By the time we'd gotten back, we were going to tell our friend
our life story.
Basically.
We were going to explain like all of our group, because we're all like connected in so many small different ways or whatever. And she was like, this is the first time we really got to know her, which I love her so much.
I know, she's awesome.
She's my new favorite person.
She's so great.
Anyway, so we decided that we were going to explain our entire life stories to her, which took way longer than expected.
So long, because like she said, like if you look at our friend group and everyone that was on that trip, there's so many ways that all of us have been connected throughout the years. We all joked like we're like the friend group in One Tree Hill, just a little bit less dramatic than their lives are, but like we've just all grown up with each other, all been in each other's lives at different times, so it was just funny. So she was like all for it. We just all sat on the little pull-out bed and we were just like going back and forth.
We were talking and it was literally it got to be so late and I was like, okay, time for bed. But I mean, it was a good night, because then we started chatting about passion and like all our takeaways and stuff, and it was a really good bonding experience.
Yeah, it was. And then at that point we were like, okay, we have like an hour left, let's just stay up. So we didn't sleep.
So the rest, people who hadn't packed, finished packing.
Yeah.
And it was wild.
It was crazy. It was such a good night to be able to just all chill and hang out. But like we were driving to the airport in the Uber. I think 3 of us were like asleep, like dead asleep. And then the guy's phone was connected to the Bluetooth and he was getting a call, and it was like, you know when you forget your phone's connected and then the call comes in and it's full like blast volume and the whole car's shaking. So it's like, incoming call from Jay, and I'm literally in the middle of a dream, like jump up out of my seat. I'm like looking around, and then I was just so scary. And then we were at the airport. I was like, all right,
at the airport. I was like, oh, okay,
I need to wake up, I guess.
Oh, that was so funny.
But yeah, then I had to say bye to them. Just waited at the gate all by myself.
Yeah, because the boys, I don't know what the boys did.
I don't know what they were doing.
They were like, some of them were in line, some of them weren't. Like we came in. And so, because we are TSA pre-check, and so we got to go, like, to a different way. And so we brought the girls to where they needed to go. And as we're passing TSA pre-check, it was Sam and Hunter, right? Mm-hmm. We see Sam and Hunter in line.
No, it was Roman and Hunter.
Oh, Roman and Hunter are in line. And we're like, there are more boys who are supposed to be there. But we're like, okay. And then we got lost on where we were going for TSA pre-check. And we ended up going back. And I see the rest of the boys getting in line. And I'm like...
it's the difference between guys and girls. You're just like, what plan?
You're like where was the plan? What was happening up here?
But it all worked out when we all got home safely. But it was just a journey. I also found a really close coffee shop. It was very good.
Where?
Waiting in line, like right next to my gate, there was a coffee shop.
Oh, cool.
And it was so good. Oh my gosh, we forgot to mention the reel.
Oh yeah, wait, tell them about you.
Okay, so
we forgot to tell them about that.
Yeah, so one of the nights that we were there, we were all waiting in the hotel room. I think it was Jaelyn's birthday day. So we were waiting to all go out, and we heard music from inside of our hotel room, and we were like, where is that coming from? So at first, we went out into the little hallway, because the way that our hotel was set up, it was like one big open area, and then all the rooms kind of go around it. So it's like you're all looking down into this big center of the hotel. And so we heard it coming, and then we all ran. I didn't even have shoes on. Like,
whoa. Well, we heard the singing, and then we were like, went out to be like, oh, what is that? And then we didn't hear anything, so we went back.
Yes.
And then we heard it again. Then we went back out.
Yeah. And then at that point, we were like, okay, we need to go see what this is and where it's coming from. So all of us run down into the hotel.
I went into the hotel to grab shoes, and I, like, sprinted out. I jumped over the whole couch. It was so funny.
So we basically went down to the lobby. We eventually found, if you just walked a little bit farther and turned left, there's, like, a whole little area. There's a big piano. Yeah, I'm like, you need to just picture this with me. And there's a piano, and there's just, like, these young adults down there just singing. And, like, some guy just went up, started playing the piano. They're singing How He Loves, and it was just, like, crazy. Because that's stuff you hear about, like, on Reels. Or, like, hear from people's stories. And, like, we were living in it.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because it was so cool to just see, like, young adults not scared of, like, where they were, just playing the piano, worshiping God, praying. And it was cool to see, like, workers of the hotel, like, walking past, just, like, watch. You could tell one guy was just, like,
yeah, there was one who came out to go do something, and she was, like, trying to walk through, and then the guy came out, and he was, like, I was like, respect.
It was so funny, but it was really cool. And then I made a reel about it, basically. And guys, Shelly Giglio liked my reel.
Which means she obviously showed it to Louie.
Yes, and Louie runs Passion.
So
which is one step closer to Sadie.
Exactly. Now she's famous.
My life was made. I saw the little thing and I was like, what? I thought it was a fake account. I clicked on it. I was like, this is a fake Shelly. No, someone is pranking me right now.
Who? And it was, of all the people to fake an account, who would choose Shelly?
Listen, I was just in so much disbelief, and it was Shelly, so and I was just like, this is so cool. But yeah, it was really awesome. And yeah, then we went home, got back, and we've just been living ever since. I feel like we just told like a whole life story.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Got back. Took a nap. Church got canceled the next Sunday, which honestly...
It was such a God thing, honestly.
I would have had to be at church at 7:15.
Yeah. I slept like
the whole day. Slept until like 10.
Yeah. A bunch of our friends didn't wake up till like 1:30. I think it was.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. But yeah, I did wake up earlier that day because it was church. My family was like, come down for church. My mom made us breakfast and stuff. And then I slept like the rest of the day. I'm still recovering, but...
Yeah, check out our Instagram for our little recap post and to find all our friends who also went. Because they're pretty cool. We like them.
Yeah. I agree. Ditto.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was our little Passion recap.
If you went or watched Passion, let us know your favorite part,
Please.
Or if you think you may want to go, maybe we'll see you next year if we go. We may or may not be there.
It's really all in God's hands at this point. We don't know.
It really is. It's in God's hands.
We'll see. Well, we hope we are. But yeah, thanks for listening to our little Passion recap. Our next episode's
Oh my gosh.
What?
We didn't. Okay, this is not something that like we plan to talk about or like anything.
But
I thought it was like comparing last year to this year. We had the most amazing men by our side.
That is true. Okay, insert
we got
segment.
To share Passion.
Segment.
Like being there with Hunter, because I don't get to worship with him or anything, like ever.
Yeah.
And so being there, I was like, this is so special.
Yeah. It was so really cool. It also was kind of cool, like, okay, so there's two ends. There's the experiencing Passion, and then there's just the experiencing traveling with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was kind
of... Like life with what it would be
like. And that's kind of needed because, I mean, with, like, Jaelyn and I's values and morals, like, we don't go out just the two with our boyfriends and travel and, like, stay in a hotel room and, like, we don't really do that. So this was the first trip where we actually got to travel with them, and it was kind of a glimpse into the future and just seeing what it's going to be like, and that was cool in itself, like, to be able to experience that. Be like, okay, this is what, like, life's going to be like married. This is going to be the rest of our lives, is, like, taking care of each other.
That was so sweet.
And there was one point I was telling Jaelyn, because I have this thing that literally just started happening. It happened when we went to South Carolina last year. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be a one-time thing, and then I learned that now I think it's going to happen every time I fly. And I think it's cluster headaches from what I got online, but I've also read that if you have cluster headaches, you get them consistently after your one time of getting them. So I don't know. If you're a doctor out there, if you know anything about cluster headaches.
If there are any doctors listening to
please let me know. I'm going to be asking mine because it is one of the most painful things. I actually read on a list, like, it's one of the most painful pains a human being can experience, like, worse than labor.
Really?
And I can't even describe what it feels like. And so the whole entire both plane rides back, I just was having cluster headaches in my eye. And I just was like holding Sam's hand so tight, squeezing it. I thought I was hurting him. I felt so bad. But he was so good. And I was just like, this is literally what it's going to be like. Like when I have kids with him, like all of that. And it's like so special to be able to experience that and kind of get a glimpse into like, oh, like this is what, like, I don't know, this is like the love that you've been waiting for. And like, this is what it's like. And this is what you get to experience it. So, yeah.
Meanwhile, I was just excited because I was like, well, I get to go on a plane and I just have like my own little headrest to sleep on.
Yes.
I was like, this is the best thing ever.
We were talking to one of our friends about that because it was me, Sam, and our friend Nathan. And we were talking about the plane ride. And I'm sitting there and they were like, yeah, like this plane was rough because the planes we had were extremely small. And Nathan was like, yeah, he was like, it was so uncomfortable. This plane was smaller than the rest. And I was like, really? I was like, I thought like it was bigger. Like I was great. Minus like the cluster headaches. Like I was comfortable. And he was like, okay, first of all, you have a fiance with you. You could just lay your head on him and like curl up and the whole ride. I'm just like this. And Sam's like, I was holding your head up the whole time, so uncomfortable, trying not to move.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's like, you're so good, but like literally,
no, like
so easy.
I put like the armrest up, and I would just like scooch in, and I just like go to sleep. I don't know what Hunter was doing. I think he fell asleep at some point.
The best plane ride of my entire life. It was so good. So yeah, ladies, that's something to look forward to. Is flying, because that in itself is just a whole different experience.
Literally, I'm looking forward to Passion. I was like, I'm just excited to be able to like just have somewhere to sleep on a plane.
Dude, it's so true. That's so funny. Yeah, anyway, that's all I got for this episode. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we plan to have another one this month. We're trying to stay more consistent this year, and it's going to be a little monthly.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be a little monthly recap from January because we have a lot of exciting things coming up that we just, think would be fun to share. So yeah, it'll be a very chill episode. Don't know what's going to happen, but yeah,
we're just going to chat,
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Okay, wait.
I'm so tired. I was like...
Okay, now. Thank you for listening to What a Life Podcast. You can follow us at Instagram at What a Life Pod. You can follow us on YouTube at What a Life Pod as well. Or you can follow Jaden at Jaden_Noel_ or Jaelyn_Hannah. Again, thank you for listening to What a Life Pod. And leave us a review.
Yeah.
What a life.
What a life.